Ken Easley of the Seattle Seahawks, and you're watching NorbCam.
What's up, everybody? This is NorbCam coming at you. Boy, it's been a while, huh? It's been a while since I've done a stream like this. In fact, it's been such a while, I was having a hard time getting this stream going. I was having all kinds of technical glitches. I hope you guys can see me. I don't even know if this is working right now. Are we working? Can you guys hear me? Somebody in the comments, please let me know if you can actually hear and see this okay, because I really have no idea what's going on with my setup right now, but Tyler Parcher says it's good. Okay, sweet. All right. Welcome, everybody. NorbCam here, talking Seahawks, talking Geno Smith. If you've been watching any of the news feeds within the past hour or so, you would know that Geno Smith was officially re-signed with the Seahawks. $105 million, $52 million guaranteed, I believe, in the first year. So I don't know how much the entire guaranteed money is for the entire 3 years, but we know that at least $52 million in the first year alone. So Geno is finally getting paid. And, you know, he really did earn it this past year, right? I mean, Pro Bowl, overachieving beyond what I think anybody expected him to, leading in completion percentage, breaking the record for touchdowns. What more could you ask? You know, made it to the playoffs. And yet, I see a lot of you guys out there still thinking that, they may have overspent or they don't like the move. It's kind of crazy. Like Hunter Johnson says, not worth it. Before we start, Danny Travis had a good idea. He says, how to start with a moment of silence for Mama Blue. Before we do that, I think it's a great idea for just a second, but you may have seen a lot of my posts lately. It's been a tough last few days with the passing of Mama Blue. I got to see her along with my friend Mark Collins, who's known her for a long time, much longer than myself. And we got to actually see her literally on her deathbed a day before she passed away. And we might have been one of the last few people who actually got to see her while she was still conscious enough to speak. And we were very fortunate to have that last moment together to hear her say a few words, to say how much she loves us, loves all the fans. She really didn't want to say goodbye. I think she still wanted to see the Seahawks, you know, try to make it back to the Super Bowl. And I think that is what kept her wanting to stay here on this earth. But she's now in a place where she's no longer suffering. She had been suffering pretty badly the last couple months, since really a December thing. Her health started to go bad. Her pancreatic cancer, which she had fought off in 2020, had returned. And that is kind of what started her quick decline since the beginning of the year. So it'll be very sad this season, and just getting over the news now. But as we begin to move into the start of the new year football season, there'll be lots of tributes, lots of services to kind of honor her memory. And I'm sure the Seahawks will do right by her and do something really cool, especially when the new season begins. So, and as well as a memorial service. I'll let you guys know if there's anything to be known about that. But we lost a special one, and I was honored to have known Mama Blue for the number of years that I did. So we'll miss you very much, Mama Blue. And I love that idea. We'll do a moment of silence before we get into the Geno Smith thing. So just a moment of silence for Mama Blue. Thank you very much. I have this, one of many tokens. This is a little refrigerator magnet that she gave to me. Mama Blue loves you. I also have her action figure. How cool is it to be a fan with your own action figure, right? Mama Blue. How cool is that? It's even got her name on the back. Come on, focus. There you go. Mama Blue. Mama Blue. Hey, focus. There it is, Mama Blue. Pretty cool, right? Anyway. So, Mama Blue will be watching from the best seat in the house. All right, but let's, Sam Dog, the infamous 253, says going to be tough to fill those shoes in down with the tunnel with Mama Blue no longer there for sure, man. But you'll have to carry on the legacy, man, doing what you do, cheering the boys on every game. And, you know, Mama Blue's, her health has been on the decline over the past couple of years. In fact, she only went to one Seahawks game this past year, and that was the Russell Wilson game, and that was a lot of work just for her to attend that game. But she hadn't been to one since. So, you know, it's been a tough grind for her. I know she's missed being down there, but she was still watching the games, keeping up with things. But all that is behind us now, and she's, you know, like I said, having the ultimate sweet view of the games from this point forward. So, anyway, let's talk about Geno Smith. If you guys want to jump in and actually voice your opinion on here, feel free to. I've got a phone number here, 202-926-1076 with the code 696153, and you'll be put into the queue, and I can pull you up and we can hear your opinion on it. You can also join the Discord at this link here, and then you just join the live stream, or I should say the game day party stream, and join that way as well. And once again, I don't know what's going on with my Discord. It seems like every time I try to do this, it acts up strange. I don't know what's going on, but if you join up there, I should be able to pull you into the Discord. And I know you can hear me on there, so I should be able to hear you if you do jump into the Discord. I've already got a caller in here, Patrick. I'm going to get to you in a second, Patrick, so hang tight. I'll get you brought on in a second to get your opinions. But real quick, just to kind of get my initial thoughts on it, is I'm not at all surprised at this. A lot of people are saying, well, I think it'd be great if the Seahawks signed Geno at $25 million. That's a good price, but come on, man. Derek Carr just got a 4-year deal, you know, what, $150 million? And what has he done? What has he done in the past 8-9 years? He hasn't won a single playoff game, you know, and Geno Smith in one season does more than he's done, you know, in practically all the years that he's had, making it to the playoffs on his first shot. So, you know, it's, you know, I don't know what people are thinking, that they're just going to get Geno to just going to go, okay, you know, discount because I just like being here. He was going to get paid. He was hinting a lot that he wanted to get paid, and he got what really he deserves. Basically $35 million a year is about what the market is. And that's really what drives it. You know, whatever the market value is what they expect to be paid. And for some people say, we should have franchise tagged him. Okay. You franchise tag him, you're going to have to pay him about $31 million. So it's only a little bit cheaper. And then you're going year by year. And then the next year, it's going to cost even more than that because the percentage on the franchise tag goes higher than it was the previous year. So you're only going to be paying more. So why not get the deal now? And what's nice about this, even though it seems expensive, the deal here is that you get him for really, because the guaranteed money, that $52 million is in the first year, you've got him for basically 2 years locked up. And then the third year becomes sort of optional. They can, if it's not going well, they can sort of cut that contract short and minimize the damage to the books. And so I think in the end, it really does work out well where the Seahawks now have their short to medium term. They're not locked into this long 4-year deal. It's a 3-year deal that's technically is really only 2. And they've got a lot of options there to, you know, basically move forward if after 2 years things aren't going the way they want it to. So I think the Seahawks have set this up correct. It was the right move to keep him here. The price is about what it was expected to be, maybe a little bit on the higher side than everybody wanted, but it's about what the market bears. And now the big question is, what will they do at number 5? Will they still draft a quarterback at 5, or will they trade back, or will they get a defensive guy? I mean, that's the big question, because even though they got Geno, that doesn't, I don't think, preclude them from still wanting to draft a quarterback for that 3 years down the road. We got guys in the Discord who want to chat it up. Let's talk to Joey the Boss 2000. Talk to me, man. Talk to me, Goose. There you go. Now you're coming through. All right, Joey. Okay, let's go back to the point. You said you think we overpaid.
I think you guys did overpay. I think 35. Yeah, it is the norm. It is the league average now. But even for how of a year Geno did have, I think you guys should have maybe gone like 32, 33 for Geno.
Yeah, but once you're at 32, 33, what's 35? I mean, really, and again, it's not like we're paying 35 every year. It's not, no contract ever evenly spreads out over 3 years, right? Like I said, 52 mil up front, it's going to be front loaded. The third year is going to be sort of one of those optional kind of things if it gets to that point. I think you're splitting hairs here. But again, I have to bring up the Derek Carr thing. I think Derek Carr got overpaid. The Saints paid him 4 years, so they're locked in with 4 years, 150 mil, 70 million, I think, guaranteed.
Clause. And the no trade clause in there as well.
And the no trade clause. He's getting the Russell Wilson deal, and he pre Broncos.
Yeah,
that blew my mind.
I think Derek Carr is one of those guys. I think if you put the right people around him, I think he can actually go and win you a Super Bowl. I feel like Derek Carr is one of those quarterbacks.
But he had Devontae Adams. He had one of the best running games. Granted, he was missing one of his tight ends. He didn't have his best tight ends, with him, and he had a few injuries there, so he was missing a few pieces. But man, he's been in the league for 8, 9 years. He's never won a playoff game.
Yeah.
Yet he's still getting paid. And there's other quarterbacks too. Ryan Tannehill. There's another guy who's getting paid a lot of money to not accomplish a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Geno's accomplished about as much as some of these guys have.
As Pacific Northwest Eagle fan here, we're about to find out if Jalen Hurts is either going to get the big contract he's been asking for, or we're in that nervous phase until September.
Is this his final year? Is he entering the final year?
Next year is, but we're seeing if we want to extend him.
This is that year before you go to the final year to kind of lock things up and make sure there's no doubt, right? Well, how do you not? I mean, besides losing the Super Bowl, they had a great season, right?
We still had a great season. I mean, was it maybe because we had an easy schedule? Yes. I mean, we had one of the easiest schedules in the NFL this year. We had a cakewalk to the playoffs.
True.
We had it so easy this year. I don't even think we played a playoff team other than our own division.
Yeah, maybe you guys had it too easy. Maybe you weren't sharpened enough for the challenge that lay ahead, and that would be the Super Bowl. Sometimes you need a little bit of adversity to make it tough.
That NFC Championship game made me happy. Had an NFC title game.
You guys were given the silver platter. So basically, hey, you know what? We're going to take both quarterbacks away. And granted all that, you guys were still only up by like a score. It was still close through the first half. Yeah. And then in the end, you guys finally pulled away. But I was like, man, if they didn't lose both those quarterbacks, I'm not sure if the Eagles win this game. But we never know because. So Jalen Hurts. Well, in your mind, is Jalen Hurts the future? Is he? Yes. You want him signed for a long-term deal?
Yes, I would love to see him get signed for a 4 or 5 year deal.
He's pretty good.
I don't know. With all the limited cap space we have this offseason, because we're trying to see if we can bring Kelsey back. We want to see if we can bring Miles Sanders back. We want to bring AJ Brown back. We want to bring Devontae Smith back. We have a lot of key guys we need to bring back.
This is the fun. This is what every team that makes it this far goes through, right? The Seahawks in Super Bowl 48 and then making it back in 49. How do we keep the band together? And you can only keep that band together so long. But you guys do have some options, but you want to strike when the iron's hot.
52, we don't really have a lot of people from that 52 squad anymore.
Yeah. Right.
Jason Kelsey, Brandon Graham, and a little bit of that defense is all we have left from that 52 run.
Well, that was a while ago, man. That 5 years, that's like an eternity, in the NFL. So
I mean, hey, 10 years ago for when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl.
Well, we went back to back, should have won the second one. It would have changed the entire dynamic, but we haven't been back since. So you never know when that next one's going to come. You guys were actually pretty fortunate to come back with a almost totally different team. But still, nonetheless, it does suck to get that far and fall short, because I don't know any Super Bowl loser who feels like, hey, you know what? We got second. That was still good, guys. No, it sucks. It sucks almost worse than not even getting there in the first place. But all right, man, well, stick around. I'm going to get some other calls in here, but I appreciate your feedback, man. It's going to be fun. Seahawks facing the Eagles next year. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Let's go to the Seattle Supersonics fan. Seattle Supersonics fan, you got an opinion on the Geno Smith deal?
I'd have to go different than the Eagles fan. I think he got paid way too short.
Really?
And I think with the way that money is with Seattle, he could have gotten better. And then they should get a QB just in case if Geno gets hurt, because then now since they got Geno Smith back, they need to worry about Geno backup.
Well, that's right. And that's why there's still a lot of people contending that we will still pick up a QB in this draft. Just they may not pick one up in the 5th round, given that they just gave Geno all this money. So you think you think Geno actually gave him a deal?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? What do you think? What do you think Geno would have got paid if he'd gone outside of Seattle and tested free agency? What do you think his market would have been?
He probably would have gotten like 5 or 6 mil from a different team.
5 or 6 more million?
Yeah.
So instead of an average of 35 million, you think he would have been closer to 40?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, again, with the Derek Carr thing, it wouldn't have been completely shocking. I'm glad they got this done, though. I'm glad that they got this done and, got the without having to go to franchise tag and not having to go to free agency. I really did like that they kept him, because I think he's good. I don't know what people are all upset about. I think he's actually pretty good. And, hopefully this wasn't just a fluke year. We'll find out next year, obviously, if this was a one and done situation. But it's not like a Kyler Murray or even a Russ or even a Lamar Jackson where he's like, he's going to have to depend on his legs to get him out of trouble. He can run when he wants to, but he's just really good in the pocket. Stands tall, delivers the ball on time, can throw it deep, and runs when he has to. Ran more than Russell did, that's for sure, this past year, I think. But anyway, I think it's a good move. It's a lot of money, but the salary cap will be going up every year as well. So while it seems like a lot, in 1 or 2 more years, someone else is going to get another quarterback deal. It's going to make Geno's deal look cheap. Remember when Kirk Cousins signed that guaranteed? It was like $80 million fully guaranteed for the Vikings, and it was like, oh my God, they signed him to this fully guaranteed. What's this world coming to? And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, you know what? That wasn't that much. Now that we've seen these other deals come along. So it's like a conveyor belt, and it just keeps kind of getting higher and higher, and it's going to continue to get higher as quarterback play continues to go up and the salary cap goes up. So, but we'll see what happens next year. That's going to be the real test. Let's go to Captain Shamoo. Captain Shamoo.
You hear me?
Yeah, Captain Shamoo. Are you still a member? Are you still a member of the NORBFAM?
I hope I am.
All right, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for being a part of the NORBFAM. It's not often I get to actually talk to you, though. So welcome to the show, man. Obviously, calling in, you must have an opinion on this whole Geno Smith thing.
I'll be honest with you. I saw it today, and we waited a while for this contract to be finalized. People were speculating, hey, is Geno going to do this? Is he going to stay in Seattle? which everyone knew he was going to. There was no way he was leaving, but everybody was like, well, maybe he's going to go to Tampa, which in honesty, I would have seen happening. But, seeing the contract we gave him, I do honestly think we may have reached a little bit with what we paid him.
What? So reached by how much? Like, what would you have realistically? We all want to see him go for like 20 something, but that wasn't going to happen. So what do you think it should have been? Or, like realistically could have been?
Realistically, I think we could have gotten maybe a 2-year deal for, let's say, about 80 million in total. So 40 million a year. Just kind of like one of those deals like, hey, we're not trying to like push it as a situation of, hey, we're going to kind of screw ourselves in cap if this doesn't work out. But in the same time, this is kind of like a Geno time to like, here you are. You had this good year. Can you redo it again the next year, but improve upon it? And maybe, not only do we make playoffs, but we can possibly go further than that, because looking at that playoff game in the wild card round, it was a good first half, and then everything just completely died down in the second. I want to, see Geno be able to complete through a whole game. I think that was one of the struggles he had near the end of the season, was he couldn't completely fall through at the end of games.
I agree with you. His first half of the year is definitely better than his second half of the year. But you bring up that, well, you brought up a couple of things. First of all, you said 2-year deal for 80 million. That would be 40 million a year, which is actually more than what, if you spread the money out through the 3 years, I think it kind of is going to equate to that anyway, because like I said earlier, it's $105 million, which if you split it exactly even, $35 million per year. But we all know that it never works that way, right? It's like Bobby Wagner signed a deal for $50 million for 5 years. It lasted 1 year and they cut it off, right? So in this case, it's always the guaranteed money. We know that he's guaranteed $52 million. So it's loaded up front because that's the 1 year they're going to heavily invest the most in. If it goes south, then you're hoping they got a pretty good backup waiting in the wings after this. But the second year really becomes like a 2-year deal, with the third year kind of like, not as lumped in. So it kind of almost is like a 2-year deal if you think about it. It's just more of the money is more guaranteed up front. So I don't know. I still think it works out pretty good in terms of, what we could have expected to get from him. It would have been worse to have done the franchise thing. If we'd done the franchise tag, it would have been a worse situation. So, and if anybody thinks, well, we could have done better, let's let him walk and let's just get somebody else in here, draft, high in the, with the number 5 pick. That's like taking a sure thing and then going, let's just hope this guy who's never played in the NFL is going to come in and be better than Geno day one, that's just kind of crazy.
See, with those type of things, everyone was telling us to draft a QB of 5, and I didn't agree with that at all. I think taking Geno, bringing him back is a great deal, so we know what he can do when he's at his fullest potential. And maybe this wasn't his full potential season. Maybe there's more to him that we don't know, obviously. That's possible of any player in the NFL. But, I'm thinking for draft-wise, we need to just focus on the defense, mainly the D-line, because, to be honest, our D-line this year was probably one of the worst we've seen in a very long time.
Now, that's what I wanted to get to about your other point about talking about the 49ers game, right? Now, we've seen a few games where it felt like, how many times has Geno turn the ball over, fumble the ball in the most crucial, game deciding drive, right? In the third quarter, happened against Tampa Bay. It happened last year against the Steelers, happened against the Rams last year when he first came in for Russell Wilson. And it happened again in the game against the playoff game against the Niners. He had that fumble when we were still in the game. We're 1 score away and he fumbles the ball in the 49ers territory. They take it. And then pretty much things fall apart after that. But you got to remember, too, is that we were down 10-0 to start that game because our defense was looking like absolute garbage, right? Letting Christian McCaffrey just run all over the place. And then we had to grind ourselves back into the game, which we did and slowly took the lead. But then it feels like because our defense is so horrible, Geno has to be perfect or maybe one step less than perfect or we can't win the game. A lot of our wins early on were like that, too. Geno had to light the scoreboard up to overcome our terrible, atrocious defense that was giving up like 30, 40 points a game and 200 plus yards on the ground. So I completely agree with you that our defense has got to be the first order. And what I'm thinking the Seahawks are doing, because now that they've played this hand, the rest of the league knows, okay, they're in with Geno. We know Geno's the man next year. But I think they're going to want to keep that thought that maybe Seattle's going to think about trying to still snag a Richardson or something in the draft, that somebody else who needs a quarterback is going to want to go, yeah, we better get it because Seattle might want to take him, knowing that Seattle probably is going to go defense because that's what they really need. So, they may trade back then, give up that pick and then go defense and pick up a quarterback in a later round. That's what I'm thinking they'll do, because they want to get a guy who they can develop for like at least the next couple of years. Because with Geno with this contract, we're assuming that he's going to be the starter for 2 years minimum, and then the next guy would come in potentially in the third year if Geno's not the guy anymore. But Geno might light it up for 2 more years and be like franchise guy, and then we don't need that top guy. So, but we need to fix the defense, because last year we could have had Joe Montana at his prime playing last year. We still would have probably lost a bunch of those games because quarterback doesn't play defense, right? And we were giving up just way too many yards for any quarterback to have overcome, that kind of situation, except maybe Patrick Mahomes. Barring that guy, that's about all we could do, really. So, but yeah, man, we'll see. It's a big gamble, but we'll see what happens. With next year, it's going to be very fun. But we'll still be interested to see what they do with that number 5 pick, because it's still a poker game, man. What Seattle will do with that number 5 pick for sure.
Right. They could do defensive end, defensive tackle, linebacker. Those are all 3 big pieces that we really need on the defense to start off with. So
we haven't even talked about Bobby Wagner. I mean, my gosh, talking about another intrigue in here. But hold tight, man, because get your thought in, and I want to get some other calls in here. But what's your thought? Do you think Bobby comes back?
I think Bobby is hinting at that he wants it. The problem is what is the price that it's going to take?
Right.
Because we're not going to ask Bobby to take a pay cut, because that's just wrong. We never should have did what we did to him in the first place, in all honesty. But
looking back, I'm sure they were like, damn, we should have just re-signed him and worked out a deal, and maybe this time around they'll sit at the table. Because really, there's no pay cut, because right now he's an open book, right? He's a free agent. Whatever the price is, or whatever Bobby Wagner, his self as the agent, decides, this is what I want to play for, and here's who I want to play for, how much and for whom. And if he really wants to play in Seattle, well, who says he's not open to cutting some kind of a deal? But it's going to cost some money. We're not going to get him for cheap. It's just how cheap.
No, and I don't expect Bobby to try to come in here and demand like all of this. I know Bobby loves Seattle. He's showing he loves Seattle. And with the players like Quandre Diggs just trying to recruit him back in here, it just feels right if he comes back.
Oh, the fans would love it, And we've seen the tweet that he changed his Twitter picture. Ooh, it must be he's coming back. I think it's hilarious how much we just chew on every crumb that makes us believe one thing or the other, that something's going to happen. If you're Bobby, you could like totally mess with people. Hey, this week I'm going to change it to a San Francisco skyline. Watch people freak out. To have that. Oh my God, Bobby Wagner's going to go to San Francisco. But. We'll see. This is a point where you can't even really listen to anything anybody says in any kind of press conference, because it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all about posturing and poker gaming and game face and all that stuff. So it's kind of fun, but it's definitely not a time to be buying any pressers or sound bites that are out there, because as we know, they'll say one thing and completely mean something else more than any other time of the year. So, all right, stick around, man. I'm going to try to get some other calls in here too. Let me test the phone lines out, because Patrick has been like trying. Let's see if this actually works this time. I think it will. Can I fix something? Patrick, are we working finally?
Yes, I think I hear you.
Bam, and I can hear you. All right, Patrick. Finally, Patrick, you're on. Haven't talked to you in a minute, brother. What do you think about the Geno Smith situation here? Is with this signing? You like it? Hate it? Love it? What?
Oh yeah, because if Pete wants to win now, like he always wants to do, he needs to be signed. That's what I felt all along.
Okay, and you like the amount.
Oh yeah, and let's draft a quarterback too, and have Geno teach him during the next 2 or 3 years and see what happens.
Okay, but where do you draft? You got this number 5 pick. That's awfully high to draft a quarterback that's going to not play for 2 years theoretically. So are you thinking we draft later and do something else with the 5th pick, or we just trade that in for more picks? What do you think we do with it, that number 5?
First priority is the defense. Let's get an edge rusher from there.
All right, so we pick defense edge rusher at number 5. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, and then a quarterback, let's say in the 3rd or 4th round.
Okay, all right, I could buy into that. What about Bobby Wagner? Is he in number 54 in the blue and green next year?
Oh, I say yeah, and I did post it on my Facebook after Geno Smith was signed. I said, "Sign Bobby Wagner now." That's what I said there.
Well, I think every single Seahawks fan at 12's out there, if they had their vote, would be saying sign Bobby Wagner right now. So I think there's no doubt that they want that to happen. The question is, how much do the Seahawks want it to happen, and how much does Bobby want that to happen, and how far in the tug of war of price negotiations are they apart from what Bobby wants and what the Seahawks want? Can they find that common ground that can still allow them to get those pieces that they'll need in free agency to upgrade the defense and make those moves so Geno can have weapons, we can have a running game, we can have offense. We got to get a center. That's another issue we got to get. Center suddenly is a vacated spot that we got to figure out. So, do we do that through free agency? Do we do that through the draft? A lot of questions, but one of the most intriguing off seasons I think we've ever had in a while. So
I have one more here.
Yeah.
If I may. When do we fit on Geno? Can he start the free agent start?
Say that again. You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, when can they sign Geno? Before the free agency season starts?
Oh, you mean like when can this actually be officially? Well, when's the start of the official start of the league year? It's I don't remember what the date is. 15th.
From what I read today.
So I think maybe the 15th is when they can actually make it official. So it's unofficially official, but so I think so. But as far as that's concerned, I mean, that's pretty much a done deal. You just have to make it, put pen to paper and all that. But yeah, it's good to get that over with, though, huh? I mean, there's so much debating and arguing. At least we know what's going to happen with Geno. Now we just got to see what the rest of the roster is going to look like. So
yeah, okay, one last thing. I just want to make a tribute to Mama Blue, because I saw your picture with Mark Collins earlier today. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to clarify, some people are confused. I think when I referred to Mama in that photo, I think some people thought that was my mom. What happened to Norb's mom? No, it's not my mom. It's the famous, longtime, legendary fan of the Seahawks, Mama Blue, who's been there since day one. Passed away Saturday evening, and so we've been sharing memories, celebrating her life, especially as a Seahawks fan. And Mark Collins and I had a chance to visit with her on Friday, the day before she passed. We were told by the family that she didn't have much time left, and that if we were going to see her, this would probably be the last chance. So we went up there on Friday afternoon and had a very short, quiet conversation, because she couldn't open her eyes and she could barely speak, but she was able to hear us and express a few thoughts. And so we were privileged to be able to share that final moment with her. But her daughter took that picture of us while we were talking with her, and it was sad to, I prefer not to remember her that way, because what we do remember is that fun-loving, wisecracking, never stop talking, funny ass woman who made us laugh and just never had a dull moment to be around. So we'll miss her a lot. And I'm sure it's going to be a lot of cool things and tributes for her, both in the off season as well as when the season begins. And I look forward to see what the Seahawks have in store to honor her memory.
All right.
So thanks, Patrick. I appreciate you, man.
You have a good night now.
All right. Good night. All right. Let's go to another call here. I think this is Sharma. Jay, maybe? Is that NBA 2K1 has been wanting to talk? Jay, is that you?
Yes.
It is you. Okay. All right. What you got, man?
Just before you talk about Geno Smith, just letting you know. Remember how I told you I'm moving to Texas?
Are you saying you're moving to Texas?
I am in Texas now.
You're in Texas. Oh, okay. All right. Nice.
And it's been amazing. I made some new friends, which is amazing. And honestly, I've had one of the best friends I've ever met.
Really? Well, it's great.
So life has been like hard. Like I've had some old friends in Seattle still I talk to, but I'm still adjusting. Like,
It's always tough. I'm sure are you in high school?
yes, I am.
High school is a tough time to change addresses.
It is.
I had friends who've done that, during the time when I was in high school and knowing other people friends of my kids who move. And that's a tough time to move because you're leaving all these friends that you've already set up and starting anew in a new place. And so hats off to you, man. I'm glad things are going well. I'm glad. Is it tough hanging around with a bunch of, I don't know, Cowboys fans or Texans fans or whatever down there?
And the funny thing is this: on my last day, which was December 16th, before we went a break, when I told one of my friends that I was leaving, this one was actually crying. I felt so bad because you lose so many. Started crying sixth period that day, and there's still some photos of my friends I still remember. So,
I'm sorry, man. I don't know if it's me or what, but you're cutting out quite a bit. So I apologize. I didn't quite catch what you just said there.
Losing someone that you know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, man, I'm going to mute you for a second because for some reason I'm having a really hard time hearing you. You're cutting and fading out on me. So check your connection here. We'll get back to you in a second because hey, if you're not to be able to share your story. Let me go to the phone lines here again to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Who do we got here? Who's this?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. Who's this? Calling from Fort Lauderdale.
Hi, Norb. My name is Matthew. I've been a fan of you for a very long time.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I'm not a Seahawks fan, but I've been watching your videos ever since 2014 when you started.
Wow. Well, thanks for sticking with me all these years, man. I want to ask, who are you a fan of if you are not a fan of the Seahawks then?
Dolphins, but I also do like the Eagles because I went to Stoneman Douglas High School, this high school where the shooting happened in 2018, and you know how their mascot's the Eagles, so I kind of show support for my high school there.
Okay, well, that's a nice gesture, man. Yeah. Well, I guess as a non-Seahawks biased Dolphins fan and partially Eagles fan, what did you think of the Geno Smith signing?
I thought he deserved it. I mean, he definitely turned around his career. I definitely think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league, and taking you guys to the playoffs definitely proved that. I mean, he can still be a good quarterback for you guys, and maybe take you guys one step further next year. But I think you guys obviously need to focus on the defense because I just feel like. You guys haven't really had that great of a defense since the Legion of Boom,
Yeah, that's for sure. That was a once-in-a-lifetime type of game-changing defense, and it's hard to keep that many stars together, especially when they were great when they were all on the cheap. And then once everybody had to get paid, that's when you can't really keep them all together because it's just price themselves out. So it's they're kind of at that point now again where we're sort of rebuilding that core group with a lot of great players, but we're still missing some of those pieces. And, we'll see if they're able to do that. But I would love to see Bobby Wagner come back. I think he's got a little bit left in the tank that he could do at least one more season. And we have problems at linebackers since Jordan Brooks, our current linebacker, who the torch was passed to, had that late season knee injury. And who knows if he'll be ready to go at the start of the year. So much like our center, having lost our center who decided to retire, we've got some holes that we didn't even know we were going to have holes for even just a couple months ago. So, that's how it is. I'm just curious, how's your, as a Dolphins fan, how's your outlook on the upcoming season? You got Tua. Oh, man, talking about a guy who got banged up during the course of the season. How's your feeling about your team going forward next year?
Well, it's kind of funny you bring that up because a few hours ago I was seeing all these rumors that like Brady could come out of retirement and sign with the Dolphins, and I'm thinking to myself, no, he's done. He's not going to come back, so I don't think that's going to happen.
I would be shocked if he came out of retirement this time around. But
no. I mean, he literally said in his video that like he's done for good. So like, yeah, I don't think he's going to do it again. But I don't know. I just think that Tua, I like him, but I don't think he's going to be our long-term answer at QB. If he can't like live up to expectations for one more season, then I think we got to move on from him because last year he was looking like an MVP candidate at the beginning of the season, and then like as the season, like after the Texans game, it's like when we got pounded by the 49ers, we just fell down and we barely made the playoffs, but then again, we almost beat the Bills with Skylar Thompson. So, I don't know, we'll see, but I just feel like this is a really big year for Tua. He's got to prove to himself that he can, not get injured again, and if he can, turn out to be a healthy quarterback. But then again, that's just hard for me to even believe that because of all the injuries he's had recently. So I don't really know.
Yeah, that's a tough spot. Lamar Jackson's kind of going through a similar thing right now with the Ravens. In their contract stalls, you got a guy who, he hasn't been able to finish a season, for the last 2 seasons, he hasn't been able to play an entire season, and the way he plays, it's so much of his game is being mobile, it's hard to know that he can survive that kind of pounding.
What do you think's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers?
Well, he hunkers up in that little black space of his trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life. I don't know. Aren't they hinting at possible return to the Packers one more go?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think they're done.
Oh, he's had multiple chances to get back to the Super Bowl, and to this day, like I still can't believe the Packers took that NFC Championship game to you guys. Like I was like I still can't believe that to this day. But
that will be a game that will haunt them. Yeah, that year, that game will haunt them forever in the same way that 2 weeks later, our Super Bowl will haunt us forever too. So
yeah, I feel like that was the closest we ever got to see, an Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady Super Bowl. We were so close, but
too bad.
I feel like he's either gonna
yeah. I know. We should have won that stupid game, though. And then it would have been, who knows what our team would have looked like at this point. But yeah, I know. Aaron Rodgers, I don't know, man. I watched him in that last game when they lost to the Lions. I was like, man, he does not look like the Aaron Rodgers of old. He looks like just older Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know. You put him on a different team, different situation, but the guy's a diva. The guy's.
I like the guy. But I don't really like that. How people always give him these excuses. That's the only thing I don't really like about him. But you gotta put blame on him for his playoff losses. Not all of them, obviously, but the recent ones, the ones with the Niners last year. That was definitely on him. I know people want to say, but Mason Crosby had that field goal block, and then they had that punt block. But then again, Rodgers only put up 10 points. So you can't really blame the special teams there, and his defense didn't even give up a touchdown. And,
right.
I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo, tried so hard to give the Packers that game, and, Aaron Rodgers didn't want it.
Yeah. It's sure.
What else? The NFC Championship against the Bucs, his defense, picked off Brady 3 times. And, he I mean, I don't know how he threw that one ball into double coverage at the end of the game where he could have easily ran it in, and then instead they just kicked the field goal, and then
ugly.
The both NFC championships against the Falcons and 49ers, he put up 0 points in the first half in both those games. So it's like, I mean, you got to put the blame on him, but ultimately I do. And then of course the one against you guys, I mean, the fact that he couldn't punch it in from the 1 yard line twice, and his defense intercepts Russell Wilson 4 times, and they get a fumble on a kickoff return. And I mean, Aaron Rodgers just threw 2 horrible picks. So it's like, I mean, you can't not blame him. But ultimately, I think he's either going to retire or go to the Raiders. I don't think he's going to go to the Jets. I sure hope not.
Well, there's been a lot of smoke screens of him in Jets outfits, but doesn't look like when it doesn't look right when you look at it. Then again, it's hard to imagine guys who've been on the same team the whole time in another uniform. It always looks weird. But all right, man. Well, appreciate your call. Thanks for chiming in, man. All right, I'm going to go to the Discord. I want to actually talk to. I have not talked to this guy in a long time. Seahawks Martin, man. It has been a long time. Are you there? Seahawks Martin, where you at? Seahawks Martin. Must be in the bathroom or something. That's unfortunate. I'll get back to you in a minute. I'll get back to you in a second. Let's go to I go back to the phone lines to M. Stauffer from the 916. Let's get this powder back up. Who's this? You're on the air from the 916 area code on the phone line. Yes, sir. Who's this?
916, Chris Lamb.
Chris?
Yeah.
Chris,
yeah,
you're
Chris.
on. Yeah, Chris.
I'm a big time. Yeah, Chris, I'm a big time Seahawks fan in Sacramento.
Okay.
And I'm calling in about the Geno Smith signing today. That was an amazing 3-year, $105 million deal. And I also think we're going to draft number 5, Anthony Richardson.
He looked good, didn't he? He looked good in the combine, didn't he?
Yeah. No, he looked good. He looked really good. So I think like we're definitely going to draft him. And then we're going to go defense and then center. Defense, center, offensive line. And then we're going to be set for the future. We're building towards the future. And I'm super excited about the Seahawks. I think that we just need to go big on defense. But I think that we're not going to pick up at number 5. We're probably going to fall back to Carolina at 9. That's
right, because they're going to need a quarterback. They're going to get somebody higher up, then that'll give us a couple more options.
Or something like. Yeah, they're going to get Will. They're going to get Will Smith, or they're going to get that guy, and then we're going to get Richardson's a project, obviously.
Yeah, he needs some time to develop, which he'll have. He's going to have at least a couple of years. Whoever it is going to have a couple of years behind Geno to study and
3 years
acclimate.
Yeah. So we can't draft like Bryce Young because he's going to be like, no, I'm starting right out of the gate. C.J. Stroud, same thing. Will Levis. Sorry, I said Will Levis, same thing. We have to draft. Anthony Richardson, which will sit back, or Hooker later in the draft, or something like that. But really excited about the Seahawks. And by the way, I'm a huge fan of yours, bro. I've been following you for years.
Well, thank you,
man. You have no idea. I've been following you for years. No, man, you're like the Seattle. And by the way, I want to say something. When your father had COVID, I followed every single day because at the same time my wife has complication from COVID, and you inspired me to keep my head up, man, because she was in the hospital like your father was, and it was deep. It was deep, bro. It meant something.
Wow,
to me
at the same time, that was probably one of the hardest. I'm sure you. Wow.
Same way. It was hard for me, man. It was hard for me, when I followed your father's, I was on your page every day because I was right there with you. You were driving to the hospital, visiting him, and I was like, I couldn't visit him, right?
Couldn't.
And then,
the last thing the last, when I had to take him to the hospital, I'd never taken either of my parents to the hospital before. And when I took him, he was barely conscious.
Yeah.
And when I dropped him off, I knew that I wasn't going to see him again until he got out. And I was like, God, is this going to be the last time I see him? This last memory? Is that what you had to do with your wife?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is, she actually ran out. She had me pick her up because she was like so scared of the hospital. She was like, "You guys, doctors don't know what you're doing." And I had to drive her back because the doctor called her up on the phone and said, "Hey, by the way, I'm trying to save your life." And
she ran from the hospital?
Yeah, she's Korean. Yeah, she's Korean. So,
okay. So she was kind of freaked out, didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. She was like, I'm Korean from Korea. I'm going to turn back. Anyway, back to football.
Yeah, I assume she's okay. She's okay now, right? She made it out all right?
She's great. And
okay.
Your father.
Good. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. I'm glad for both of us that it worked out.
Yeah, me too. No, but how sports connects us is through things like that and the things that you do. And, I pretty much watch all your, Norb shows and everything else.
Thank you.
I think it's really cool. I'm in Sacramento, so, I don't have much access to Seahawks stuff.
Sure.
But, I am a Seahawks fan out here, and I'm looking forward to the future. And I think that, Anthony Richards is probably our first pick at 9. What do you think, 9 or 5?
5 is awfully high. It's awfully high to pick at him. And, he's got so much physical promise, but as a quarterback,
throw the ball.
There's a lot of questions of, is this guy accurate? How many games has he really played to really prove what he can do? So he's a project, but man, the guy can jump out of the building.
You're right.
Yeah, he can throw it hard, but can he put it between windows? That's going to be the more important throw than the big 60. You can throw 60-yard bombs to wide open guys in shorts and tank tops. And when you got to throw a dart between converging defenders, whoa, let there be light. When there's a defensive end, Nick Bosa bearing down on you, and you have to, on the run, throw it between two linebackers or something. That's where you earn your money. And we'll see if he can do that sort of thing. But
so who do you think we should draft then? Should we draft at 5, like a guy like Will Levis, or should we go
Will Anderson? Will Anderson seems to get a lot of high praise as a pass rusher. One thing as I was watching these playoff games, man, especially with the 49ers and the Chiefs and everything, it was like, man, the pass rush. It's all about the pass rush, man, because the quarterbacks are so good out there, and if you give them enough time, they'll slice you up. So you got to get pressure on these guys, and if you don't have a pass rush, everybody looks bad. Your linebackers look bad, your corners look bad, your safeties look bad. So whether it's through the tackles up the middle, or you get that monster defensive end, that Nick Bosa type. I want if we're going to take somebody at 5 and it's not going to be a quarterback, I want that to be the next Aaron Donald, the next Nick Bosa, that game-changing guy where they got to plan around that guy.
Totally Well, we'll say everyone goes big on quarterbacks, right? Everyone gets the first 4 picks go to quarterbacks or whatever, and we actually get Carter, or at 5. That would be amazing. Like you said, edge rushers too. But I'm just saying, I think that would be that would change our trajectory on our defense for sure.
Are we concerned about the off-field stuff?
I'm not. I think that his character is a little, in question. But I think that our locker room and Pete Carroll will definitely, direct him in the right way. I think we have enough leadership in the locker room, especially if we bring back Bobby Wagner, which is not going to happen. But it would be great if he.
I was going to ask you about that because you didn't mention him in your initial. List of things.
I would love to see Bobby Wagner back.
Not going to happen?
Come on, forget about it.
No?
Oh, maybe. No, I think maybe. I think
if he wants it, I think it will happen. It's just a question of whether he wants it.
He doesn't have any.
It's just
He
him.
doesn't have an agent, right? He's his own,
Right.
his
He
own
represents.
agent, right?
He doesn't have
So
some
he's the
agent who's
one-
going to be talking in his ear.
He's the one. He's the one that messed up the first time. He's the one that said, "Nah, I want 12. I want $15 million a year," when he was only a $10 million a year player. So he's a $10 million, $9 million, you know, because he's older. He's what, 32 now, and he is, you know, he's great. He's great, but they're also like, let me see, the Vikings just released their Kirkland, what's his name? Their linebacker who had 137 tackles for he's the leading tackler for the Vikings.
Mhm.
They released him because they couldn't afford him.
Right.
With Hendricks. Is it Hendricks or is it Bobby Wagner? I'd take Bobby Wagner, but we could also pick up Hendricks too. But they released him today from the Vikings because they couldn't either afford him,
You know,
or whatever.
the Rams released Leonard Floyd. I think he's going to be a free agent as well.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys out there. But
So what do they say? They say you build defense through you build offense through the draft, you build defense through free agency. That's just because I watch too much sports and I'm kind of a geek.
well, you need a little bit of both,
Like
right?
you,
When you look at
probably.
the perfect, the
Right.
best defense that's the Seahawks had in the Super Bowl 48, right? You had the perfect mix of a
Right.
bunch of young guys for cheap. You had Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, all these guys who weren't on mega million contracts yet. But then you picked up a couple free agents, like you said. You get Cliff Averill, you get Michael Bennett. That's your pass rush right there.
Right.
And then you had Chris Clemens, and then a whole slew of tackles and stuff who they could just like take this whole line and put this line in there. It was awesome. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But we had a perfect mix of young guys under cheap contracts and a couple of, a handful of very good free agents that kind of just sort of sealed put the things over the top. So we have a little bit of both of that now, but we haven't found that perfect guy. It's like, what's his name? Who was the guy? I'm blanking on his name. Who went back to the Chiefs? Who was with us, and then he went to the Chiefs, and then they won the Super Bowl. He wore number 8 for us. No, our number 8. He came from Cincinnati. He changed to number 8. Gosh dang it! Somebody in the chat, help me. I'm blanking here. He just won the Super Bowl. I can see his face right now. He changed to number 8. Somebody in the chat's going to answer it right here because I'm blanking. Carlos Dunlap. Thank you very much, Patrick. Carlos Dunlap.
Oh, Dunlap. Oh yeah.
Didn't quite have the impact. It didn't quite happen. We brought Bruce Irvin back. Didn't quite. So I feel like we can get that game-changing edge rusher from the draft, and then we pick up a couple of pieces like you mentioned to shore things up. But and the center, we got to get center somewhere in here too.
Quarterback first. Do you think we should go quarterback first?
That's the tough one, man.
We're never going to get this high.
I know. We'll never get this high. We screw up, and I think about that whole thing with when I think of the guy with the off-field issues, I think of, one name
Carter?
comes to mind of the guy that we drafted and completely blew it because of all those off-field antics. Malik McDowell. Remember that name?
Yeah.
The guy we never saw play?
Yeah.
That's ATV, gave ATVs a bad name.
ATV issue? Yeah.
I mean, that was about as bad of a pick, bust. And who knows? The guy looked good. I remember his tape looked great, and he looked like he was going to be awesome.
The guy at Wake Forest was our first bust draft.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Aaron Curry. Aaron Curry.
Yeah, Curry was the first.
He was our linebacker coach, by the way, last year, and he just left to go be a linebacker coach somewhere else. But
he's being coached, but he can't play.
he had the physical skills, but he couldn't quite see the game. He was, I don't know, he never quite could catch up to things. He was always out of position. And anyway, that was
Remember Mel Kiper said he was the for sure
thing.
Pack, for sure thing of this year's draft, and he's a bust. We picked him 4, right?
I think so. Yeah, one of the highest picks we'd had in recent memory.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so
so
now we're at number 5.
we can't screw this up.
So who do we pick now? Yeah, now we're at 5.
I want I feel like I want to get a defensive guy. You know, like I said, an Aaron Donald.
I hear you on defense. Yeah.
You know, as tempting as it is to get one of these quarterbacks, I feel like you can still get one. It just doesn't have to be the top 5 one.
Well, you can get Hooker in second round.
Yeah. So there's plenty of options, but that's really not our issue. That's not our issue. The defense is the issue, and we need that guy who can down the line when Patrick Mahomes is running around, chase his ass down and take him down. You know, in the Super Bowl to win that thing. Sure. You know,
for sure.
That's what I want.
That thing for us.
Double team. I mean, a guy's got to be double teamed. He's such a problem. He's got to be double teamed. That's what I want on my defensive line.
And up in Seattle, so Kenneth Walker wants to be Ken Walker. He gets pissed off if you call him Kenneth. Is that correct?
K9? Oh, Kenneth? Kenneth. You mean? Okay.
Yeah. Does he get pissed off if you call him Kenneth Walker? Because that's what I heard from ESPN.
Oh, you know, I don't know. I actually don't know about that. I'm not sure about that whole thing. If they'll make him run better, piss him off then.
I heard from Snyder though. He said like he wants to be called Ken Walker, not Kenneth Walker.
Oh,
and he's an angry. Anyway, whatever.
I will call him Kenneth.
I'll let you chat with other people.
Yeah. Call him Kenneth, piss him off, and get him run angry. How about that?
There you go.
Give him the Hulk treatment. All right. Hey, Chris, thanks for calling, man. I appreciate you sticking with me all these years, man. Good to talk to you.
All your time. I'm sure there's a million people that want to talk to you, and I'm a really big fan of yours. And thank you. I hope your dad's healthy, and I hope your family's healthy. And you're an amazing person. And I've been following you for probably like 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
Anyway.
Thank you.
All kudos to you, man, and you're the man. All right.
I appreciate it. Great to talk to you, man. I appreciate it. Best to your family. All righty. Oh, that was great. All right, let me get back to the Discord. I see you, Jay, up there. I'm going to get back to you in a sec. I just want to give Seahawks Martin one more chance because he didn't seem to answer the call last time. Seahawks Martin, are you there? Oh, I see things lighting up. Hold on a second. Discord on. Seahawks Martin, tell me you're there. I saw you unmute yourself, but I don't hear you. No Seahawks Martin? Oh, I'm not getting you, bro. Not sure what's happening. Let me try to go back to you in a second. Let me get Jay here. He says he's fixed his microphone issues. Let's see if that's the case. Jay.
Hello?
Is this Jay?
Now?
Oh, that sounds much better. Much better, man.
How are you guys been doing?
Oh, no, good, man. I heard the early part. It just seemed like the more you talk, the more you start just dissipating into the stratosphere of no audio. So you sound much better now. Whatever you did sounds much better.
Thank you.
All right. So what you got, man?
Nothing really. I've been had a party on Saturday, which we went to on Saturday, and I've got some color all over my hands still, even though I try to wash it.
Okay. All right. Hey, having some fun down there. I like it. Well, you haven't gotten into the football side of things.
Yeah. I'm actually happy about it. Even though I'm in Texas, as a Seahawks fan, I'm happy. But with the 5th pick, I think we need more defense. I think last year we didn't do much. We did okay. We just need to improve more on the defense. Get some stuff. Some some of the good quarterbacks we had. Everyone has. Each team. For example, if Aaron Rodgers goes back to the Packers, we need someone who's a really good defender who can stop him from throwing the ball. So we need someone who can intercept the ball, get some sacks, and we probably will win the Super Bowl next year. I'm not gonna jinx it because I'll probably get hated after that. So
I think about game-changing guys. I keep bringing up Nick Bosa, but Nick Bosa is one of those guys who he wrecks you on the run. He wrecks you on the pass rush. He's just a problem. You have to always go, where's that Nick Bosa at? Just like Aaron Donald. Where's Aaron Donald at? I want that kind of player. I want that kind of guy who's just going to be a force to be reckoned with. You always have to know where he's at and just, is just going to completely wreak havoc on offensive lines.
Yes.
That's what I would love to see.
Good question. How's your parents doing? I haven't like said hello to them ever since I moved, so I want to check out.
Oh, they're doing great. Yeah, my in fact, we're gonna go down to Vegas this weekend. My whole family for a volleyball tournament. Again, we were just there 3 weeks ago, going there again with my parents this time, though. My parents didn't go last time, so they'll be there to watch. So me, my wife, Vanessa, Sophie's just staying here because she's not playing at that tournament, so she's going to be staying back. But yeah, no, thanks for asking. My parents are doing just great. They were over here yesterday and strong enough to even help me clean up the yard a little bit and help me fix some stuff around the house. So yeah, my parents are doing well, hanging in there, having a good time. So I appreciate it.
The only thing I don't get a thing is like on Friday, my dad told me one thing. So like one of my dad has friends has his dog, right? So like one time he was actually crying. And I was like, well, what happened? So that dog was in the driveway on Friday night. I didn't even know this. The dog was in the driveway. A car was reversing and the dog got hit and passed away.
Oh no.
I know, right?
That's
I was
terrible.
shocked to hear this. Like, I texted my friend things on the exact same day. I was like, hope you're feeling better, and he appreciated it. So
that's tough. I don't have any pets right now. I had a cat and a dog way before. My daughter, especially Vanessa, has been begging me to get a dog, especially. But it's a lot of responsibility, man. It's like having another kid, a kid that never grows out of potty training. You know, you're always going to have to deal with all these things, and I don't know. We're so busy. We're traveling so much. I know it's difficult.
Can I show you something real quick on my camera roll? Can I show you something?
Yeah, real quick. I got other people on the line who want to talk too.
Okay, let me just quickly should work.
What? Am I going to be seeing a doggy picture in here?
No, it's not a dog picture. Let me find it. I have to look. Okay, do you see it?
I guess I have to click on the stream. Here we go. Wait. Oh, yes. Is this you?
That's me a few years ago.
Wow. You've definitely had a glow up since.
Exactly. And this was at my uncle's wedding like 3 or 4 years ago, I believe. I can't remember.
It's a nice looking suit though, man. But yeah, you're a little cooler now. But hey, you know what?
This is my friend Miles I was telling you about. Where is it? I'll quickly show you before I leave. Oh, that's him. This is Miles from my school.
The one whose dog got hit?
Yes, it's him.
Oh, I'm sorry that happened, man. That's always sad when pets.
I know, right?
When something happens to pets, it's like losing a member of the family, right? So, sorry about that, man. Well, Jay, it's good seeing you, man. Good luck with the rest of your time in Texas, and it's good to talk to you.
Thank you. Let's connect one day once again.
Yeah, for sure. It's good. We have there'll be a lot of chances to reconnect during the season. So looking forward to it, and the off season. So take care, man.
Definitely.
All right, let's talk to finally. I think this is the one and only Seahawks. Martin, say it is so. Let's get this going on right here. Martin.
Please let this work.
Hey, it's finally working. All right, the one and only. Man, it's been a long time since I talked to you. How you been?
It has. Great to hear from you again, Norm. I've been doing great. High school's been something, but I guess the experience is nice, so that's pretty cool.
Now, I remember I did talk to you recently enough to know how your voice changed from little high voice Seahawks Martin back like 3 or 4 years ago to the manly man that you are now. But what year are you now in high school? What year are you? Sophomore?
I'm a freshman.
Freshman.
So I just started.
Okay, freshman. All right. Still, that's cool. Now, I know you're busy because you got all your brothers keeping you busy. What's it, like 3 of you? Was there 4 of you?
There's 5 of us, actually.
5 of you. That's right. Oh my gosh, 5 of you. How does your mom do it? Wow, your parents are busy people.
I don't know. I ask her that all the time.
And you're the oldest, right? So you have to you're the one who's leading the pack.
Yeah, leading the pack, making sure they're not messing around or else my parents are going to go crazy on us.
Yeah, big brother. You got to blaze the trail. You got to take all the hits for your brothers. That's a tough job, man, being the oldest.
It really is, yeah.
So let's talk to me about your take on this whole Seahawks situation, starting with the Geno signing, $105 million 3-year contract. What do you think?
I mean, when I first looked at it, I'm like, 3 years, $105 million. That's how much we gave Russell Wilson for that 4-year, $140 million extension that we gave him back in 2018, 2019, something like that. And so I was a little skeptical at first, but then when I looked and read a little farther, I was like, wow, I mean, this is not even that bad, because a lot of it is mostly incentives and not much of it is guaranteed, which means a lot of the money Geno's going to have to play for it, and he's going to have to go lights out if he wants to make all this money. So it's not bad. I mean, it's a pretty team-friendly deal. So I think the Seahawks made the right choice here instead of franchise tagging him, and hopefully it works out.
So I haven't read anything more beyond that. They said he could earn up to $52 million in the first year. Have you seen the actual guaranteed money with that deal? I haven't been checking the last hour plus since I've been online, so I don't know what the actual guarantees are. Do you know? Anybody know?
No, I don't think they've given out the actual guaranteed amount yet, but according to some sources, a lot of the money is mostly going to be incentive-based. So hopefully that means not too much guaranteed.
I love incentive-based contracts. Geno earned a lot last year because of those incentives. He like doubled his pay. Went from like 3 point something to like, I think he ended up making $7 million. And I know it's nothing compared to what he's making now, but still he doubled at that time his salary because he was able to make all those incentives happen, like making a Pro Bowl. I'm not sure if it was the touchdowns or the yardage or completion percentage or games played, but I mean, he hit all those check boxes and got paid for it. And now he's really getting paid for it. So, you know, anytime you perform, you should be rewarded. And what I like about it is it's not one of these contracts where, you know, it's going to make him sort of not worry about trying as hard because, hey, I'm paid now, I don't have to really work. It feels like it's still a contract where Geno's going to feel like I still got to perform because it's only 3 years and he's going to need to get the next one. He still will be old enough to play another contract because it was only for 3 years. So I like it. It's going to keep him hungry, even though he'll be less hungry because he'll be eating well with all that money. But you know, he's going to want to continue to build off that. So I feel like it's, I agree with you. It's friendly for both. And really that number will continue to go up for those salaries for quarterbacks because what was the most highest salary 3 years ago is now like middle of the road salary. And this is, you know, someone's going to get paid the next highest deal after this. And then when we thought that was the highest, it's going to be somebody else. So it's just going to kind of keep on going. And that's just the nature of things. And whether it's the salary going up or just the guaranteed money, you know, going up, it's, you know, in the scope of things, yeah, I thought they did all right. So what do you think now? So we're moving to the draft part of things. We've been talking quite a bit about what the Seahawks should do with this number 5 pick. I'm sure you've got an opinion on it. Does this change the strategy at 5 now that they've got Geno locked in for the next 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, some people wanted QBs, you know, somebody like Anthony Richardson or Bryce Young or CJ Stroud if they ever fall to us. But I think obviously what's most important is our need on the defense, and that really comes down to edge rusher. And there's a guy here that I really like. I mean, he's been up there on the mock draft. A lot of analysts have had Seattle picking him. Tyree Wilson of Texas A&M/Texas Tech. He's been an outstanding player for Texas Tech for a while now, and I wouldn't be surprised if we pick him up because, I mean, we really do need more of that pass rush and more of that run stopping. I think he'd be a really good asset to that line.
Okay. All right. And another Wilson back to the Seahawks. Well, Wilson that can play defense. Do you think they have to take him at 5 if they're going to get him?
I mean, he's really projected to be like really high up there. If we don't get him at 5, I don't think we're going to possibly get him at 20 because, I mean, many teams do need a defender of his caliber. So I think taking him at 5 if he's there would be the best choice. Him or another edge rusher, you know, maybe Jalen Carter, if his controversy dies down. Maybe reaching for somebody like Nolan Smith, who did really good at the combine. But I think Tyree Wilson would be the safest choice right now, and it would be really hard to grab him if we were to skip him and wait until 20.
So, and I know this is all about the gamesmanship and the positioning and all that. Since we're at 5, we know that there's teams ahead of us who need quarterbacks. We know the Texans are in the market for a quarterback. We don't know. We're pretty sure that Chicago's set on their quarterback, right? They're not going to draft a quarterback, are they? They're pretty set, right? With
I don't think
Fields.
so. Yep, Justin Fields.
So who else is ahead of us now? That leaves also, who are the other quarterback hungry teams? There's
I think Colts, who are at 4.
The Colts. Yep.
The Panthers, possibly.
So if that's 3 quarterbacks that could go in the first 4 rounds, right? Assuming that Chicago doesn't move for a quarterback, so that would take probably CJ Stroud off the board. It's also going to probably take who would be the next one? If it's not Stroud, it's going to be
Richardson.
Possibly. That high? At 2?
Bryce
Young. It's going to be Bryce Young or Stroud, right? So let's do it. And then, so that means there could still be a top 2, 3, 4 defender up there. So, and could somebody want to trade for our spot to get a quarterback at 5? And maybe we trade back a little bit and still stay high in the first round. You could still maybe turn that pick into a slightly later first and then a later something. But, we wouldn't have to necessarily wait till the 20th if they get clever with a desperate team who wants to trade with us.
Yeah, now that you mention it, 2 late first rounders would be pretty nice. Looking at the draft order here, you have Las Vegas, Atlanta, Carolina, 3 teams that do need a good quarterback. Atlanta, maybe not so much since they do have Desmond Ridder. But Vegas, now that Derek Carr's gone, they do need somebody.
Desperately.
We could possibly trade with them. Yes, but we could possibly trade with Vegas. But, they would have to give up a lot of baggage for that because even if it's just 2 spots down, I don't think Seattle wants to give up that much just in case somebody steals their guy.
Mm-hmm. It just depends on who that guy is, and that's the game, right? That's the game. It'll be interesting to see what happens to Carter, man, because I don't know. I keep getting these Malik McDowell PTSD feelings when I hear about this off-field stuff, and then we can't have that happen. Whatever we do at 5. We can't blow that pick. It's got to be a game changer for sure. For really years to come. So, and one last question for you is: Bobby Wagner, Seahawk or not?
Man, I would love to have Bobby Wagner back as a Seahawk, but he is expensive. I know he's getting up there in age, so hopefully he will take a pay cut. But at the same time, you got to think, maybe he might even retire because he's getting up there in age. He's not at the same level he used to be. So, I want to see him back in Seattle. Our linebackers do need some help. Jordan Brooks is still recovering from the ACL. Cody Barton showed good signs, but then also bad signs. And so, you put Bobby Wagner back in there, he could be a really good mentor to those guys and bring them back up, and hopefully they can play at a level that Bobby Wagner will be proud of them to do. But if not, and if he claims retirement, then I guess a 1-day contract like we did with KJ Wright. But it's going to be tough. He's definitely going to need to take a pay cut if he needs to cut. What's a
pay cut? What's a realistic price that Seattle should pay the most of if they're going to bring him back? No more below 10, 8. 9? What's the magic number, you think?
Yeah, I believe his last contract he had with Seattle was 3 years, $54 million, so it's $21 a year, and he did really good there. I would agree with you. Yeah, maybe low 10s, high single digits, something like that. Not lowball him too much, but give him a good amount of money. Show him hey, you're a veteran, you're still a great player. Come in here, mentor these guys, something like that. Yeah, I agree with you, Norb.
Wasn't he 5 years, $50 million with LA, but that only went for a year? He was there for a year, and then they shredded that up. I don't know. How much did he actually get paid? Did he get paid $10 million for that one season? You know,
I think he got paid a lot more.
is it more front heavy?
Yeah. Something a lot bigger. I mean, the Rams just don't really care about the salary cap anymore. So
well, now they're paying the price. Now they're paying the price. They're in a major yard sale mode now. They're dumping everybody. They're talking about a team in rebuild. That's a team in rebuild mode now. I mean, they bought their Super Bowl trophy. They got it last year. Unfortunately, I was really hoping that it would all blow up in their face and they would be going down with no trophy and a yard sale to boot. But unfortunately, they did get their trophy, and that's paid off as far as they're concerned.
They really sold their soul for that. I mean, we thought they would collapse after 53, and then they just kept coming back, and then I think this time it was the nail in the coffin. So fingers crossed, you won't have to worry about them so much in the division next.
No, it feels like they're going to drop back into the Rams that we enjoyed so much back in the early 2000, mid 2010s ish time when they were never easy. They're still a pain in our butts, that's for sure. But they were never a threat to the division. They just gave us a hard time.
Yeah.
All right, man. It's good to talk to you, man.
Yeah, great to talk to you too, Norb. Great to hear your voice again.
Yeah, you too. We'll have to do this again as we get closer to the draft, and it's going to be it'll never be a dull moment when the Seahawks are concerned. So, looking forward to more collaborations in the future, man.
Oh yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thanks for having me on, Norb.
Absolutely, Martin. Talk to you later, man. All right, let's go to one more on the line. This might be the last call here. Let's go to the 907. It says Girdwood Realty. Is this a business line? We'll find out. From the 907, who's this?
Hi, this is Daniel. I'm a big Seahawk fan. I've been a follower of your channel for like 8 years now.
Wow, that's a long time, man. Thank you for sticking with me all these years. Where are you from?
I am from Girdwood, Alaska.
Alaska. So 907 is Alaska zip code. Okay, I didn't recognize 907. So Girdwood. So Girdwood Realty, is that your business?
It's my dad. I don't know why I'm associated with it. I guess he put my number on.
Okay, it just came up as the caller ID read it as such. But okay, so from Alaska. All right, man. Well, the floor is yours. What do you think? What's on your mind? It could be Geno, it could be Seahawks, it could be whatever's on your mind, or if you have questions, whatever you got. Talk to me.
Well, I do want to talk about the draft some, but I want to ask what your opinion was on like what should we do about Rashad Penny or like any backup for Kenneth Walker this coming season.
Good question. I've been wondering the same thing too. I'm thinking, Rashad Penny, God bless his heart, man. He's one of those guys that's like, he's got so much potential. We've seen flashes. And just when you thought, hey, he's finally there goes the ankle. There goes the knee. There goes the whatever. And it's just, unfortunately, it's just snake bitten him all these years. But at the same token, it's also made him extremely affordable because what team is going to put a lot of money in a guy like that who can't stay on the field? So I feel like they could probably bring him back and not have to spend a lot to do it. I think if they're able to bring him a nominal amount, why not? Because, he's going to be able to play next year to some degree. And if you're not putting too much stock into him, then the risk is low. The reward could be huge, and I'm sure he's still playing to try to stay in the league. So you got a hungry guy who's still trying to prove himself out there. And we haven't seen it yet. We wanted to see the 1-2 punch of the Rashad Penny speed with the canine, juke and all the moves, and we just never got to see it on the field together. So yeah, I would love to see him back. I think they could do it and really be not much skin off their back, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't think we're gonna bring him back. I think that we should. I don't know if we will or not. If we get him for a good price, I think we should get LeGarrette or what's his name, Leonard Fournette. He's a free agent now. I think that'd be a solid backup for Rashad Penn or Kenneth Walker.
Well, they might need to do more than one move because as we found out, it seems like every year we start off the year with, oh man, why do you have so many running backs? And by the time we get to like the fourth part of the quarter, last quarter of the season, we're like looking up the want ads for available running backs because we're so banged up. It's like every year without fail, there's a point where we're just like desperately wondering who's left. Even this year, without at one point, I remember thinking, man, is it time to call beast mode again? We're in some trouble here, but luckily we didn't get that desperate. But it seems like you got to have a few back there because we have a hard time keeping them healthy. So I think we got to have at least, when we started the year, we had Penny, K9, Travis Homer, who's the other guy? DJ Dallas. And that was the primary core, right? So we had four sort of like any of them were available at any given time. And at one point they were all banged, but Travis Homer was banged up. I think Dallas was the last guy we had. I mean, we started looking like, who do we got? We had to bring in some no-name guys, remember? At one point, we brought some guys off the practice squad and stuff who were playing, I think, against Tampa Bay. We're like, who is this guy?
I remember the Rams game. We had I can't even remember his name, but I think he fumbled against Bobby Wagner or something.
Oh, yeah, that's the guy.
We were sitting on the running.
He got creamed and he lost his contact lens or something. But I remember that was that. Yeah. I don't know what happened to that guy, but so anyway, my point being is I think we need a few more, and I don't know what DJ Dallas and Travis Homer's contract situation is going into next year, but again, we need somebody besides K9.
I'm sure we'll re-sign those two guys. I don't think they're going to be very expensive.
Right.
I'm sure they're like in Seattle, so I'm sure we'll get them a pretty cheap contract, but
I'm saying you could make a move for Leonard Fournette, and you could probably get Rashad Penny too, and still not really break the bank. Fournette would be more expensive, but I'm just thinking that Rashad Penny, who's going to take him? I don't think anybody's going to.
I don't know. We might be able to trade him for a fourth, honestly.
Trade Rashad Penny?
Or is he a free agent? I'm not sure. Yeah.
I think it was a 1-year deal. I don't even think he's locked in. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying. I think he could be at the doorstep, pretty much, ready to come back in from the cold. But we'll see. Yeah, man. So you asked about Rashad Penny. So they'll change the direction there. But are you happy with the Geno signing?
I am, and I don't really think there's going to be a quarterback available at the 5th pick that's going to be ready to play over Geno anyways. So I think having Geno's a really good security quarterback, and I don't think it broke the bank. And I really like what he did with us last year, and he knows the system. He's only going to get better. He's going to get to know his O-line better, and and I think if CJ Stroud somehow fell to us at number 5 pick, I could see us taking him and having him sit behind Geno for a year or two. But also our D line is so garbage. We kind of need to get the best available defensive player.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see what happens on draft day. But I am very happy with having Geno Smith back.
It was the right move, and it would have been horrible to have to go to a franchise tag situation. So I'm glad they actually got a deal done, and it's not too long. 3 years is actually good for all parties involved, because then Geno can kind of prove.
I don't know why there's so many Seattle. I like going Facebook groups for Seahawks.
Geno haters.
An unbelievable amount of Geno haters. I don't understand. It's like
I don't get it either. I don't get it either.
I was like,
especially when you compare to all the quarterbacks out there. I've brought up the Derek Carr deal plenty, the Ryan Tannehill. There's a lot of worse quarterbacks getting paid more, we're getting paid a lot more money than Geno. So his contract is pretty middle of the road. But, everybody wants the next Patrick Mahomes, but we who doesn't, right? Who doesn't want that top tier guy? Yeah, he may not be in the top 5 mantle of quarterbacks in the league, but he's definitely in the top. You got to put him at least the top, 10 based on his performance last year.
Top 10.
And I think people are just too hung up on the games that we didn't win because it's so easy to credit the quarterback when they win and blame them when they lose. But
I know, like
these losses were on the
we
defense's hands so many times.
Yeah.
What were you saying about you said something about the fumble?
Oh, it's like I saw some guy on Facebook was just going like, oh, you fumbled a couple games away. It's like, okay, well, why aren't you like upset about Russell Wilson like throwing the Super Bowl away still? You know?
I mean, I agree. I remember thinking, man, Geno's just got this thing about blowing games late where he's not clutch, you know. And I said for a long time, I made a video and I said, I don't think Geno Smith is not a franchise quarterback until he can do this one thing, and that is to finish a game and and win it in the late in the fourth quarter. And he finally did that this year. After that, I was like, okay, he's proven it to me. He can do it. Yeah, exactly. And he did more than that in other games that we barely won. We could have easily lost more because the defense played so horribly. But there were plenty of games that we should have won had the defense been average to above average. There were some times, we
should have beaten the Panthers, the Saints, and the Falcons, honestly.
Yes, for sure. Those we should have been beating the Raiders. I was
embarrassing.
I was mad. I was mad at Geno on that one because when they missed that field goal and we got the ball at like our own 45-yard line or wherever it was, I was like, oh man, all we gotta do is get 20 yards, kick the field goal, and go home. And we couldn't do it, But I watched that series again because I was so upset because he got sacked. He got sacked on that third down play, but our defensive liner, maybe the tight end on the right side, didn't defend against Crosby, the edge rusher. There's that edge rusher thing for the Raiders, and he went in there untouched, and Geno really didn't have a shot. And had he gotten just a split second, he had an open receiver. We had gotten a first down. I mean, we would have won that game. Instead, we had a punt, and then they took it, and we remember how that game ended. So, but that was terrible. I mean, we gave up how many yards? 200-something yards to Josh Jacobs that night? I mean, that's
there
crazy.
Was like 220 rushing yards or something like that.
Yeah, it was sick. And he gets like 70 of it in that final carry in overtime. Anyway, so many games that we blew had nothing to do with Geno. He was not the problem. He was not the reason we didn't make it to the Super Bowl last year. Yeah.
No, definitely not. And these people that hate Geno Smith expected him to take him to the Super Bowl, so he sucks if he didn't. So I don't understand.
I mean, I'm just as guilty as everybody else out there who was like at the beginning of the year going, Geno, let's just put Drew Lock in it. Let's see at least what this guy can do because we already know what Geno's all about. So I was definitely guilty as charged as one of those guys who underestimated what I thought Geno Smith could do. And I was so happy to have him prove me wrong.
I thought we were going to win like 4 games.
Yeah, I just thought he'd be, because at that point, I just knew Geno as a pretty good quarterback who doesn't lose games for you, but he doesn't win them either. And when it comes to clutch time at the end, he's going to find a way to blow it. He'll fumble the ball or throw a pick or something. That was kind of my impression of what Geno Smith was. And then this season proved me wrong. So, I'm hoping that he'll, I don't know, can he replicate what he did this year? That's tough to put all those numbers up like that. But he was just consistent. And that's the thing is that, completion percentage being as high as it was, and it wasn't just like he was throwing checkdowns. He was throwing with, large numbers, yards per attempt. So if you have high completion percentage with yards per attempt and you're throwing touchdowns, you're doing kind of everything right. He's not just throwing like 2-yard pops and having this super high, easy completion because he's not taking any chances. No, he was throwing balls down the field like Russell style. So, yeah, I don't get it either. I don't understand the hate, really. But I think people just were too easy to put the blame on him when they lost. And it should have been put elsewhere. So.
Yeah. For sure. We had like the worst rush defense in the league, I think.
Oh, God. It was, if not the worst, it was close to the worst. I think it was at one point the worst, though. It's terrible. Can't win games like that. So.
Yeah, that's why we need Jalen Carter badly.
Oh, man, if we get him, I sure hope he turns out to be, everything he's cracked up to be because I would hate to see that be another one of those. Oh my God! What happened?
No, I think his whatever, like the race he was involved in, got kind of blown out of proportion a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's like cleared legally already. I'm not sure exactly, but
I don't think he was.
Also, his lawyer talking.
I don't think he was. It wasn't like he caused. I don't think he caused the accident or the.
No, I think what happened was that he was in a race and the other person basically crashed and then people got killed. But
the problem was that he lied about where he was. First he said, "Oh no, I was like a quarter mile away from all that," and then he got asked again and he lied a second time, and then finally they had footage of him there and he couldn't deny it. Yeah, maybe that was me.
I forgot about that.
So that's the other part. Now that might have just been him like trying to avoid, trying to skirt around the edges so that this didn't come up and ruin his reputation. But then you lie about it to protect your reputation. Then that becomes your reputation. Is the fact that you lied about it. So, it's who knows how dad this really is representative of who he is. But I don't know. Again, Malik McDowell, ATV. That comes to mind. I just don't want another one of those things. Can't be any worse than that, but still. I've heard other things about him that he doesn't always put in 100%. Like he sometimes takes plays off, and so I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do. It's like John Snyder and Pete Carroll and all those guys in that war room. Would you just love to be a fly on the wall and like peek at their draft board and see who do they got? Who are they looking for? It'd just be fun to see what's on that map. What's on that, what's on their to-do list of guys that they really are out to get and see how it compares to what we're all speculating about. We'll find out in a couple months, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
That's the game.
I know Will Anderson's really good too, but
yeah,
who knows? Because I've seen a lot of mock drafts say Jalen Carter go number one, and then after like all that stuff happened, I've seen stuff where Will Anderson goes number one overall to the Bears. But
well, hey, if Jalen Carter drops because of it, who knows? Maybe that changes his position, and maybe the Seahawks turn that into a positive thing. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things that could actually help the situation. You never know. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one, that's for sure. Did we talk about Bobby Wagner? I can't remember now.
No, we did not.
We didn't?
I think my opinion on that is that he's going to try to chase a ring, and he's going to try to get on like a team that's projected to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Von Miller's doing, but I don't know really, because I think he's going to want some money, probably more than we're willing to pay him, but I would like to see him back just because of how weak we are in the linebacker situation right now, but
yeah, for sure.
I don't really see it happening.
You're doubtful that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't buy into the Bobby Wagner changed his Twitter profile to a Seattle skyline, so he must be going to Seattle now theory. It's probably a little more complicated than that. Maybe just like that picture. But yeah, we'll see. It sure would be, as fans, it would love to see it though. But
yeah, he's definitely great. He's going to be a Hall of Famer and everything. But
yeah, and he'll go in as a Seahawk when the time comes. But it would be fun to have him one more ride, wouldn't it? One last hurrah.
Yeah,
we could definitely use him.
But
we don't. It's not like we got the top 5 linebacking core right now.
No, definitely not. I got to get going here.
All right. No, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for
letting me hop on.
Yeah, pleasure talking to you. Take care, man.
Yep. Have a good night, Norb. Bye.
You too. All right. I got one more call in here. I do want to acknowledge Dukes of Hazard in the super chat, who says, we giving up picks to get Derrick Henry? Heard Titans are shopping him. Pete likes his run game. Who doesn't like his run game, right? That would be interesting. But to give up picks for him? Might be too rich for our blood. We got to still get our offensive line. And we already got a pretty good running back, but we need some depth there. That might just be too much of a reach for the needs that we have, in my opinion. Let's go to one more call on the conventional phone line. We're going to, I think it's Carlos from the 415. Is this Carlos?
Hello.
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 How you doing? What's your name?
Can you hear me there?
I can hear you.
Oh, what up, man? I talked to you before, man. Is Team Triple G, man. How you doing?
Team Triple G. You know, as soon as I heard your voice, I was going, this sounds a lot like Team Triple G. What is up? What is up, man?
What up, man? Calling out of Turlock, California. How you doing, man? It's been a while, man.
It's been a while, man. We've had a few heated, well,
man,
not heated, but we've had some fun banter.
Man, we've been to a couple Super Bowl fans, man.
Yeah. Well,
how you feeling about that Geno trade, man?
You know,
the payday.
Yeah. It's what I expected, to be honest, bro. Because as much as everybody who wanted to see him get signed wanted him to sign for like $25 million for a cheap deal, I was like, nah. After that year he had, he earned it. And if it wasn't going to be the Seahawks, somebody was going to pay him $30+ million. And I thought,
he had a decent year. He had a good year, man. But I think people kind of overrated, no, a little bit.
The numbers, the stats don't lie, man. Completion percentage, touchdowns, yards per attempt. I mean, all that stuff was, it's hard to argue with those numbers.
Now, you're correct. But towards the end of the season, he kind of fell off a little bit.
I agree. He didn't have his best play in those last 5 to 6 games. He definitely had some drop in numbers. I'm hoping that that's not a trend that continues.
Yeah, So, you think you're going to be competing with the Niners this year or what?
Well, we're always got to compete with the Niners because right now the Niners are the big boys on the block, right? And they still are. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at quarterback. I really thought that if Purdy stayed healthy, you guys had a really good shot of making it all the way, man.
Yeah, that's true. He did better than Garoppolo, man. I feel like our offense opened up more whenever he came up, you know?
Oh, for sure. And the real question is, so from, obviously we're talking to a 49er fan here. All right, so that NFC Championship kind of stunk. I mean, stunk for you guys, but it stunk even from a watchability standpoint because, man, you can't, you guys lost 4 quarterbacks in one season. You're down to 0 quarterbacks. But now that the season is resetting here, you guys got to start all over again like the rest of us. Who's starter day number 1? Because I think, to me,
Trey Lance, he has to start.
But don't you think Purdy did more? I mean, didn't he prove something that he should be the starting guy?
Man, but
I don't think Trey Lance is as good as a quarterback.
So I feel we got to give him a chance. We can't just throw Purdy in there.
I guess we
didn't really see what Lance could do. We don't know who he is yet. We got to see what he has. We can't just bench him. And have Purdy play.
Are you only saying that because you guys put so much in? You gave up so much to draft him? Is that the only reason why?
Too much draft capital. It's just too much.
For me as a Seahawks fan, I was actually really disappointed when he got hurt and they put Garoppolo in because at that moment I said, "Ah, crap! Now we're in trouble." And sure enough, we were in trouble from that moment that it happened. Because I don't know. I've seen. Only a few times I've seen Trey Lance play, and I'm not impressed, man. I feel like Garoppolo's better than him. I feel like Purdy's better than him. But I feel like you're right. They're going to probably hand the keys to the starting position to Lance anyway.
Yeah, my thing is this. I wasn't impressed from what I've seen from those 2-3 games. But at the end of the day, we haven't seen enough. So what we could do, we gave a lot of draft capital, 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
So the best thing we could do is give him a chance. Let's see if he could show us something. If not, if he sucks, then, hey, let's just go with Purdy,
So what happens to Garoppolo? Is Garoppolo done as a 49er now?
No, yeah, he's done.
Is he like a free agent? Is he officially now no longer, is he completely off the team now?
Yeah, he's a free agent.
He's a free agent. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, just let them go. You know, we just got to move on. You know, we got Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, so you know they're both on rookie deals. So let's just ride with them. You know.
Yeah.
If Trey Lance shows that he's a bust and he sucks, then okay, just bench him and let's just move on with Purdy. You know.
Thing about you guys is, man, you got that defense, which is just like one of the best in the NFL. It's just freaking scary, man. And
yeah,
but
the only thing that we do need, we need another DT. You know, ever since Buckner left, I feel like it just ain't there no more. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. Your defense seems defense seems pretty good to me.
Than before, but just the pass rush ain't as good as it was back in 2019 with Buckner and that. You know, if we could get us like a Fletcher Cox or like a Vita Vea next to Armstead, that'll be good. Or give us another edge rusher on the other side of Bosa. You know.
Man, you're spoiled, man. You got all these guys. You got Nick Bosa. You got those linebackers and Armstead. And you're like, still like, oh, we still need more, man. It's like, geez, I just want one Bosa. I want one. You want two of them.
I mean, we have everything we need on defense. The only thing that I think we could do is just add to it. You know, add another DE next to Bosa on the other side. You know, like when we had D Ford. You know,
right?
Fast edge rushers coming out the end. You know, just add a DT. Or a edge rusher just to make it extra better, and then I think we'll be good. You know.
How long are you guys going to be able to keep that defense together? 'Cause I know at some point free agency is going to kick in for some of these guys, like your linebackers for Warner and those guys. Who's the first one that's going to hit the free agency?
Dre Greenlaw. We signed him to a 3-year extension on I believe this year, the season that just passed. Fred Warner, we signed him. We have him for another 3 years. The only person we really got to pay is just Bosa, and that's it.
Wow. Bosa's on his.
We have Armstead for another year after this one.
Bosa's still on his. When did you get him? Is that
we got him in 2019.
19. All right.
Yeah, we have to pay him. We got to pay him this year.
So this is his payday year. Eventually, you can't pay.
We got to lock him in, but the good thing about it is that we don't have to pay a quarterback a lot of money.
Right. That's true. You guys have that benefit.
And we got 2 rookie quarterbacks on the rookie contract, so all we got to pay is Bosa, and then we have like Jimmy Ward. I think he's gone. You know.
Right. Man, you really lucked out. You really lucked out with Purdy.
You know, I mean, just replaceable people.
Yeah. Huh? You really lucked out with Purdy, man. I mean, that was just Mr. Irrelevant.
I mean, he's good, bro. I think he's good, bro.
He's damn good. I mean, I think he takes you to the Super Bowl if he doesn't get hit.
I'm not gonna lie, man. We wouldn't have made it that far without him. You know?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and that's just like.
I'm not gonna lie, though. I think Trey Lance. I think we trucked it on him, man. You know?
You think you what?
I feel like we did truck it on him, man. I feel like he ain't the one, man. I don't think he's gonna be that, man. You know?
But you figure if we put this much into him, we got to give a shot, right?
Yeah, we have to. You know.
Yeah.
Either he shows us he's good or he's bad. We just got to get it over with. You're good or not, just show us, okay?
So how many games? How short of a leash do you have on him? You give him what? How many games is enough to see what he's got? Let's say he starts out cold and he goes 1-2.
We're gonna find out quick. We're going to find out within 3-4 games, but, I mean, they're not going to bench him that quick. You know, it's gonna take about 6-7 weeks.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting. This definitely his make or break.
They're going to still give him a chance, you know?
Yeah. No, this definitely is make or break year.
Once you bench him, it's over. You know, his confidence is over. He's just done, you know?
Yeah.
So we just got to see, but I like Purdy, man. I think he could do it, you know?
You guys lost your kicker, though, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, we did. We lost Gold.
He was solid, too.
Yeah, that's a loss. I'm not going to lie. That's a loss, you know?
I mean, nobody ever really thinks about the kickers. It's always an afterthought until it's like 55-yard field goal to win the game. And then you're going, damn, I wish we had Robbie Gold right about now.
Yeah. Yeah, he won us that game in Green Bay in the cold. Remember, I believe it was not this year, but the one before we played the Rams in the conference championship.
Yeah, no, I know.
He won us. He's won us a lot of games, man. But it's just he You know, he's not trying to be here no more. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know,
he's demanding about 6.5 million, I believe. So you know they're not gonna pay him that. You know.
Yep. Yep. And then you'll pick up some other guy, and then when that guy loses the game for you a couple times because of missed field goals, you've gone, man, we should have just paid Robbie Gould, man.
I mean, this year, I think, this year, if we wouldn't went to the Super Bowl, I don't know if we could have beat the Chiefs, though. You know.
Chiefs are pretty good, but you guys have that defense, man.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Your defense would have given them a hard time.
We could have won, I think, was when we lost to the Rams, bro.
Yeah.
That was when Tar dropped that interception, bro. That was our chance, you know, losing to them, because they were not a better football team than us, you know.
Yep.
So if we would have beat them, we would have beat the Bengals. You know, basically whoever won out of that conference championship it was going to win the Super Bowl. The Bengals were not going to beat the Niners, you know.
Maybe so, but that was, you guys had that in the palm of your hands, slipped through your fingers, but you guys were close.
With us, though, man. It's always something, you know.
I know that sixth ring is floating out there somewhere, man. You guys gotten close a lot of times.
Close, bro. 2019, what? 2012. Damn, man.
You don't get much closer than 2012.
Man, look at Shanahan. He can't get it done yet, but you got to give him a chance. Everybody forgets that Andy Reid went to like 10 NFC championships without winning the Super Bowl.
I was actually surprised. I listened in after
Smith.
After you guys lost to the Eagles, I listened in on a couple of 49ers live streams just to kind of listen to hear what the chatter was. I was surprised how many people were talking about, man, Shanahan's got to go, man. He hasn't figured things out by now, man. He needs to. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's because look about the Niners. They've been starting off the season slow, and then they pick up.
Right?
Did you notice? Not this year, but the season before, how we started like 3-5, and then we went on the winning streak, and then we ended up playing the Rams in the championship game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then this year again, we were like 3-5 again.
Yep.
3-6,
and then went on that like 9 straight or whatever. Yeah.
Championship game.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that I like about this team, though. You know what I mean? They got that experience. They could do things like that. You know.
It's pretty impressive, man.
And it's just one of those losses that we shouldn't have lost to the Bears or the Broncos or Atlanta that could have got us that first seed, you know. Maybe all home games, it would have been a different thing, you know.
I know. I can't believe you guys lost to the Broncos. If you'd beaten the Broncos, we would be sitting on the number 3 pick right now. You guys hadn't freaking lost to the Broncos. I can't believe that. Of all the teams to lose to, you guys lost to Russell Wilson and the Broncos, man. Oh, man. Some things just don't make any sense. Also, Russell looked like the old Russell at the end of that game.
Russell Wilson, however that went down last year, bro. You know?
Crazy. Hey, man, but worked out well for us.
Bro, like, once Geno Smith starting, it was over, but man. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see if Russ can turn around with Coach Sean Payton. It's like he's getting everything he wanted now. He wanted out of Seattle. He wanted a place that they made him the star, and he wanted Sean Payton from before, and now he's getting that. So this is about as much as he.
I'm starting to think it was Seattle, bro. You know, it was probably the scheme over there in Seattle with Pete and them. I don't know, bro, because you can't suck that bad if you're that good. You know?
I can't figure it out, man. Because, well, you guys know if Russ had his way with anybody, it was with the 49ers. Russ had a way of slaying the Niners most of the time until the last couple of years. But man, it was. I don't know. I can't explain it, man. Because I watched some of those Broncos games highlights. It's like, what the hell? What? And I get it. He's slower. He's not as he used to run around and try to chase him down like a jackrabbit, and later, these last years he hasn't been as mobile and everything, but he's had some, like just not seeing guys, not making throws which he normally would make, and so I don't know. Maybe it's a coaching thing. We'll see. We'll know next year if it was a fluke or if this is really the Russell that is really Russell. But I do think that we made the system work for him. You know, he had something good going on here.
Well, at least he thrived in it. He had an advantage in it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, man.
The division though, how do you feel about the division? Like the opposition, like the Rams and the Cardinals. How you feeling?
The Rams are having a garage sale of all their stars, man. So the Rams are about to blow things up over there. So, you know, Rams I think they're heading the wrong direction. The Cardinals, they're kind of a mess too with all the coaching changes. And I don't know about Kyler Murray, man. So I feel like it's going to come back down to Seahawks and Niners. We got to try to knock you guys off the bully on the block again. Until you guys aren't, we got to keep chasing it with you guys, because you're the pain in the ass that's standing in the way again. But I'm telling you, man, the division's better.
The Cardinals, they ain't looking good. They're not going to be good for a long time. The Rams, you know, they
had their window.
That Super Bowl they won was a fluke, man.
They bought that Super Bowl. They cashed in. They put all the chips in the middle of the table, and they said, we are winning it this year or nothing at all. We're selling our future to buy this Super Bowl.
Just let LA win, you know?
Yeah. So
the big market, just let them win, huh?
So I don't know, man. I feel like we're still probably a year off before we can really go measure up talent with you guys. We got to draft well this year. We've got to make some good free agency moves. You know, Geno's got to continue to do what he's doing and get even better. Our running game's got to be good, but you know, Niners are a freaking good team. I can't argue, man. So at some point, you know, some of those pieces of the Niners, you can't keep everybody happy. You can't keep them all together. I mean, you guys got weapons on both sides, but you do have that advantage now where you've got two young quarterbacks who can both, well, at least one. We know one is pretty darn good. I don't know about the other one, but
yeah, because if it wasn't for Purdy being good, then I don't know what it would be right now, you know?
Yeah, you guys would have some issues. That, like I said, that fell out of the stars, man. It's like, hey, Mr. Irrelevant just suddenly saved your guys this season.
For at least sign a veteran like a Matt Ryan or like someone that has experience with Shanahan, you know?
Yeah. I don't know about Matt Ryan, man. Yeah. I think Matt Ryan's time is done. But
yeah, that dude's done, man.
But yeah, man. So it's gonna be fun. But football, at least in the NFC West, football is better when the Niners and the Seahawks are both good.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The rivalry is good. It's a fun rivalry when the Niners and the Seahawks are going at it. Those are some of the funnest times.
I mean, we've been good for a very long time. I mean, the Niners did fell off for like 4 years or so, but it's been there. You know, we've been good for the last 10 years, 12 years. We've both been good for a long time. You know?
Yeah, we kind of first it was the Niners, the early part of the 2010s. Then Seattle kind of took it for a while, and then kind of you guys took it back, and now we're sort of in this. Seattle's trying to fight their way back to, you know, kind of even things out. So. Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun year. I still feel like the Niners are the team to beat, though. But if we can make some moves and get some good talent in here, can make it interesting.
Yeah, in the NFC at least. I mean, I don't think the Eagles will be the same. Who knows what happens over there in the North with the Packers and Aaron? But
yeah,
I feel like, you know, the Niners in the NFC, maybe the Cowboys could still hang on a little bit. I don't know if they'll be the same. But I mean, we got experience. You know, we've been there already. You know,
right?
All the players we have right now, they've been there. You know, so they got that chemistry. They know what it is to lose big games. They've been close. You know, so I feel like this year we could get it. You know.
Yeah, I can't think of a lot of other teams. I mean, the Eagles. You know, they did have a pretty easy schedule this year, but Jalen Hurts, you know, he's proven he's a good quarterback. You know, they might contend again next year. But yeah, Cowboys, they'll probably be tough again. I don't know about Tampa Bay. I think they might be falling off a little bit. Green Bay, you know, I feel like their window's closing too. But no. Yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot of teams that jump out where you go like, man.
Green Bay's done.
Yeah.
Green Bay's done, man. Yeah.
Vikings.
I mean,
Vikings
the
are
only team
frauds.
that's been good and that's been holding them up good is just because of Aaron and when they had Devontae, but that's those days are done. You know?
Well, and that division sucked for so long, so the Packers just owned it. But now that the Lions are actually starting to play good, Vikings are at least they're good until the playoffs. Then the Bears might actually be better, so they got tougher competition. It's kind of like the AFC East now. Before it was the Patriots. You pretty much just could write in the AFC Championship from the start of it because the Jets sucked and the Bills weren't any good and Miami was no good. But now these teams are actually, starting to even out a little bit. So
yeah, but the NFC is wide open. There's not a lot of good teams in the NFC right now. That's what I'm saying.
No, that's true. That's true.
All we have to get through is just the Chiefs. If we want to win a Super Bowl, if we want to get better, if we want to beat someone, we gotta be preparing for the Chiefs. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, gotta get the division.
At the end of the day, if we want to get that Super Bowl, we're gonna have to get through Kansas City because I know they're gonna be there for a long time.
Yeah. Yep. Although they're losing Frank Clark, so that's going to be a hit on their defense there. So every team's going to lose somebody, and then they got to just restock, right? So
Frank Clark's a free agent.
Yeah. I don't think they're re-signing him now.
He's good, man. Especially in the playoffs, he comes through in the playoffs for sure.
Yep.
I mean, they got Chris Jones. He's like, well, I've always said he was second to Donald as far as the BT position.
Yep. Yeah, no, he won him that he won it. He really made that Super Bowl happen. He was the key, one of the biggest keys to that game.
Yeah, even versus us in our Super Bowl versus them.
Yep.
You think Patrick's catching Brady or no?
Catching Brady? You mean like as in number of rings?
Yeah.
He's got as good a chance as anybody. I mean, he's got 2 now, right? Brady's finished with 7. Did Brady get 7?
Yeah, he has 7, so he would have to get 6 to pass him. 5 to tie and 6 to pass.
Again, it's one of those things where he's not going to have all those pieces together. Chris Jones isn't going to be there forever. They did a good job replacing Tyreek Hill, though. Man, it's like they lost Tyreek Hill and got a guy just as fast. It's like that number 10 didn't slow down at all. So they did good with that. And what was amazing about them was how they were still able to keep that offense going, even though they were missing a lot of guys at receiver, a lot of starters in that game, and even at running back, guys were stepping up. But Andy Reid's a good coach too, so he knows how to make that offense run.
Andy Reid. I mean, the only reason why he has those Super Bowls is because Patrick Mahomes. So let's be real.
Well, yeah. But he's pretty good too. He knows how to use them.
Let's remember when he was with the Eagles. He went to 10 conference championships. He went to a Super Bowl, I believe, versus the Patriots, and he lost all of them.
That's true.
All of them. And then let's remember when he went to KC, he had Alex Smith. And remember when he first A. Smith. He would always choke in the divisional round. Remember that? Whether the wild card or divisional round, the first game in the playoffs, they would always choke. Remember that?
Yeah. They're one and done. Yep.
And then all of a sudden they get Patrick Mahomes, and all of a sudden he wins those Super Bowls. Let's not forget. I mean, he's a good coach, but let's not make it seem like he's
Patrick Mahomes he's something special. That's for sure.
Let's be real. Let's be real. What happens if you give Shanahan Mahomes?
Well, you give anybody Mahomes, right? Actually, if you put Mahomes on our team last year, we still don't win because our defense was so horrible. But you got to have.
Nah, you would make it further. Yeah, you would. You're right.
We might win. We might win an extra Mahomes 1 or 2 games in there, but different. Yeah. No, Shanahan is good. He's a good offensive coach as well. So he would definitely figure out ways to get the most out of them for sure. But
yeah, man.
I mean, crap! You got Brock Purdy. You got Brock Purdy to almost take you guys to the Super Bowl. I mean, damn, that would have been historic.
I think if we would have had Brock Purdy last year, we would have won it.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah, it's just Garoppolo, man. We had all this talent, man, and I feel like he was just not good enough to finish it. He was just in the way, you know.
You know what though? He was the best looking quarterback you've ever had.
Prevented us from winning it, you know.
He had that chance, man. There was that one throw. If he would have just hit that deep ball in what was that, Super Bowl 54? What was the one where you guys where he missed that deep throw?
It was 54, I believe.
54, I think.
Yeah, it was 54. Yeah, I believe it was 54.
Believe me, I was like, whew, thank God he didn't throw that ball right. But, you know.
No, it was 55. Yeah, but
55.
Man, that was.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was before. Anyway,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Well, it's going to be fun, man. It's good to talk to you again. For a 49er fan.
Man, take care.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, take care, man.
All right. Well, we'll see you during the season, man. It's gonna be a fun one for sure.
Man.
All right. Take it easy.
All right, man. Have a good night, man.
All right, you too. All right. This will be the last call. I thought that was gonna be the last one. Let's do this one. Let's go to Sergio in Vancouver, Washington.
What's going on, Norb?
Is this Sergio?
Yep.
Oh, your name is actually what it says on the caller ID. I'm doing pretty good, man. How about you?
Big day for us Seahawks fans.
You happy?
I was debating on it with Geno and whether we take CJ Stroud, because with the talent of CJ Stroud, I think he should be a starter and not sit behind Geno for a top 5 pick like CJ. But I'm happy with Geno re-signing.
Mm-hmm.
Not too into the Anthony Richardson game.
He's a project. I wouldn't want to spend a number 5 pick on him. I really hope we go
A lot of people
defense.
really want that, but
I know, but it was kind of like last year. Was it Malik Willis? Isn't he the one who was throwing all those 60, 70-yard bombs all during is in all the off-season stuff? Everybody's like, "Oh, we're gonna get this guy." But there's so much more to the quarterback position than just hucking the ball down the field. I don't know. I'm not sold on. There's a lot of hype, a lot of exciting stuff, physical and all that thing. But as we know, the quarterback position is a lot more than just that.
right.
But
yeah, I feel like we're so close. We're so close to a contending team, as you were talking about earlier. Teams like the Niners and the NFC and the Eagles. I feel like with Bobby as a free agent, we got Jordan Brooks playing on one knee.
Yeah.
And I'm not too into that Cody Barton stuff either.
Yeah, I was not thrilled about that.
Pick up a linebacker, but also fix that interior O-line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got center to fill.
I heard that we met with the Minnesota center from college.
Oh yeah, I heard about that too. They had a chat.
I feel like we should make a push for him, or either Osiris Torrance. Or maybe even make a push for Orlando Brown. Not as great of a tackle, but he'd be a filler.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And you got to change your smoke detector battery back there. Get that 9-volt in there, bro. Yeah, I know. Do we do it through free agency, or do we just draft somebody? Which is the better route to go? Somebody earlier we were talking said, draft. Build the offense through the draft and the defense through free agency. There's some truth to that matter. But yeah, no, we definitely have some holes to fill. Some holes that we didn't think we were going to have, namely center, and then the linebacking situation. But Yeah, no, it's gonna be a wild draft for sure. When number 5
Yeah,
comes
I'm excited
around,
for
what
it.
the Seahawks are going to do. I think there's a higher chance that they trade back.
You think so?
It's just if the quarterback, demand is high and the Seahawks are no longer in the need to get one at a high position, depending on who they got on their board, they may not need to, they might realize the guys they want could fall to them if they can work out a deal where they, get a team that's desperate for the QB and they only move down a few spots but stay in the first round. I mean, that would be ideal. Let's say like the Raiders, they're going to be looking for a quarterback now. So
that could be a deal.
They could, want to sneak up there before another team snags the one they really want. I mean, that's the beauty now of having Geno in this position. But then again, now everybody else knows that too. Right. So everybody knows we're not quarterback desperate. But if they're desperate enough, they might want to give it up to get our our number 5 pick. So
I'd either do that or take either Tyree Wilson or hope Will Anderson falls, which I doubt that'll happen. But
we're going to see at least 3 quarterbacks potentially go before we pick at 5. So
I think Chicago trades down. Chicago will possibly trade down. With who? Indianapolis, possibly in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say Indianapolis would go Bryce Young. And Chicago could trade down another, or they could either go with a guy like Jalen Carter if his issues with the whole racing stuff are, or they could go Will Anderson, which is the best decision they could possibly go with.
I feel like at 5, one of those 3 defenders will be there. Carter, Wilson, or Anderson. I feel like one of those guys will be there at 5. Because there's so many quarterbacks that will probably go.
5.
What's that?
Jalen could fall to 5.
So I feel like we'll get we'll have a chance to get a game-changing defensive lineman, or tackle, or edge rusher at 5. I think it's going to be there. That's my hope, anyway.
We know the John Schneider game, trade, which is a good thing. It's worked out for us.
They didn't do it last year. Last year they fooled us all and actually drafted positions that, like, wow, we actually need that. So
drafted some good guys, and I feel like
last year was pretty good.
If they're,
yeah.
What do you think we should do at the running back position?
We were talking a little bit about that. I think Rashad Penny could still be an option, a cheap option.
You think so? Cheap?
Yeah, it's like, well, his stock value isn't exactly high right now. And so I feel like they could bring him back and probably for very minimal. And he'd still be out there to try to prove something. And I'd like to see those 2 guys in the field at the same time. Don't want to count on it, but if we can get it for cheap and just have that as an option, I'd give him another shot. But I think we still need another guy. We need somebody else. There's talk about Leonard Fournette. Now he's a free agent.
Leonard Fournette is a free agent too, huh?
So he's a good, bang him up, running back. Add a little bit of that kind of beast mode style.
The positions we need first, and then we can go for a guy like Fournette. Not keep Penny in.
But we definitely got to address the defense. The defense really concerns me. Defensive line, pass rush, linebacker. I mean, those are still the biggest concern to me. And interior offensive line.
Interior line, yeah.
There's a lot. We could even add cornerback in there, but I feel like those are the main ones. Taker 610 says Levi's would hit the ground running in our offense.
I think we could do it. Possibly. Do we not know what the cap hit for Geno's contract is yet? Or
yeah, I don't know. Don't know how that's going to work with for this year's. I just heard them. They say you could make up to $52 million in the first year, but I don't know how much of that is it directly impacts the cap. I'm sure that will come out in the days to come. But yeah, and of course, the whole Bobby Wagner intrigue to all this. Be cool from a fan perspective. If the number's right, just like Rashad Penny, if the number's right, why not? That's the thing.
I feel like he'd possibly go to a top contender. We need a linebacker. Teams like, not Dallas.
But, Bobby's not the Bobby Wagner of 5, 6, 7 years ago. He's still good, but he's not top of his game good. But he might be just what we need. Because I still think Bobby Wagner, who's a step slower, is still better than Cody Barton at his peak. Because Bobby can make up for his maybe lack of speed with his, vision, his anticipation. And he won't put himself in bad positions. He'll be more gap sound. We had so many problems with linebackers not in the right gaps, not being able to tackle either. So
that's mainly Clint Hurt. I mean, his play calling, he needs to get his act together too. But first year,
you kind of give him a pass, and hopefully next year is better. Sean Desai, we just went with us for 1 year. You and all already left. I was surprised for how bad our defense won. He got headhunted, and didn't he go to the Eagles?
He went to Philly, and comments, and they're not liking it.
Well, it wasn't like you look at the Seattle defense and go, wow, we got the guys who architected that defense, because our defense sucked. So I was surprised too, but coaching carousel is interesting how much it moves around. And, it seems like no matter how bad you are at any other team, you pretty much can get a job somewhere, someplace eventually. It doesn't matter how bad you were. It's just a carousel. You just eventually you go, well, I sucked here, but these guys will give me a chance, and I'll just be a coordinator. I'll step down from coach. I'll just be a coordinator, and then you'll eventually get a job no matter what you do. It's pretty crazy. It's a good old boys club. And once you're in that coaching circle, you're kind of set for life. You just keep bouncing around. As long as you don't do anything stupid to get yourself kicked out of the league or anything, you pretty much can always find a job, no matter how bad or your performance may have been. It's interesting how that goes. Taker 610 with another super chat. With Geno being here and our new quarterback coach, Anderson is like swinging for the fences, and an opportunity we might not see for another decade.
He has an arm, but his ability to read a defense is not too great. The first 4 games of the season, he was, what's it called? He was doing pretty good. Then, as the season went on, didn't do so great anymore. And that's the one thing I'm afraid.
Well, yeah, it wasn't the finish that we wanted, but again, I still feel like it wasn't one person's fault entirely. There's plenty of blame to go around.
At the same time, I think Greg Olson, our QB coach, could give him good coaching skills, get some tips.
Dukes of Hazzard with a super chat says, what happened to Jamal Adams? He's still with us? Yes, he is. Technically, he's got 1 more year left on his deal. He's been rehabbing that knee that he injured trying to sack Russell Wilson in the first game of the year last year, and that knocked him out of the season. ironically. And so I'm actually excited about his return. People are already kind of down on him, or almost kind of forgotten about him, but he would have been great in our defense had he been healthy, you know, because we had his run stuffing is the best thing he can do. And that was the one thing that we were lacking the most of. I would have loved to have seen Jamal Adams being able to kind of put more in a run stopping position, and who knows how he would have performed. It just sucked that he was injured, but you know, he'll be with us next year. So it's almost like getting a new player. I mean, we didn't have him all last year. So him popping back on the roster is like getting this new guy. You just forgot about him because he was gone so long. So I assume that he'll play out his contract final year and then see how it goes. But yeah, Jamal Adams is still technically with us. So
I think he'll do decent for us next season if he stays healthy.
Yeah, if he stays healthy. Big if, as it turns out. But yeah, I guess I still feel like he's got some. I still feel like he's got some game left, and he could do some pretty cool things. We were just robbed of the opportunity. So yeah,
just needs to go little by little, progress him.
Yeah,
and then start getting him in his little routine that he likes to do with his run stopping and blitzing.
Yeah, that injury though, man, that knocked him out for.
I saw him go down
a long time.
That hurt so bad.
What's that?
When I saw him go down on that Broncos game and getting on that cart, and it's just
it's heartbreaking.
Here goes our defense again.
I know, so early. So who knows? Maybe this is the third time's the charm. This is the year he puts it all together and has the year of his life. Lights it up. He had all those sacks. He had all those sacks that first year, and then but I still don't think he was doing what he was meant to do, and that really is stopping the run. I feel like is his ultimate strength, which is the one thing that we've been terrible at. So we need him. We need him badly, for sure. All right, Sergio, I'm going to wrap this up, but I appreciate you being on here, man.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. That was fun talking Seahawks, talking Geno, talking everything. It was a good chat tonight. I haven't done a interactive thing like that. I was a little rusty coming out of the gates. Apologize for that, but I had to dust off some of the cobwebs of all this setup in this new computer I'm still getting used to ever since my hack. But I think everything kind of got dialed in, so that was worked out in the end. So thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll have plenty more to talk about. And so stick around, click around. There's plenty of videos to watch here. So we'll be talking more about things to come. More free agency news, I'm sure, will be coming up here. And then, of course, the draft in a couple months. So we're just getting started. Talk to you guys all later. Have a good one.